Last time we took a break in the beautiful city of Porto and a busman's holiday of a mini cruise up the stunning Douro River. This time, despite the rest, a couple of tough day sails has us once again drained, and for Kate the emotional roller coaster of the battle for home all becomes too much. This is Intrepid Bear, a 40-foot sailboat on her way home after 3 years of adventures.
Join us, Kate and Ian, as we navigate the challenges of voyaging back to the UK.
Six o'clock in the morning, so day after, so yesterday was not the river trip, we had a day off yesterday. Suddenly saw there was a bit of a weather window today, a potential weather window. Potentially is 2.5 metre seas out there, but they're at 10 metre intervals, which kind of means, you know, you've got one wave and then 10 seconds before the next one. So that probably is all right. Went down to the beach when it was meant to be 2.7 yesterday, and it didn't look too bad. I mean, yes, there'll be a bit of roll, but the wind's in a good direction for us to make another 60 or 70 miles today, across the border into Spain. But sea state, we just don't know really until we get out there. So we're just going to go down and have a look at the harbour entrance and go out. And if it's really bad, there is a port literally a couple of miles north. And if we get a little bit further on, there's another one 15 miles north that we can go into. So we've got bailout options. We're actually heading for the Spanish Rias to get across the border into Spain around Vigo or Bayona. So that's the plan for today. Wind's onshore and it's slowly going further behind us, so as I say, it should be a decent wind to at least boost the engine and give us some stability in the waves, hopefully. But like I say, just can't judge the conditions till we get out there. The problem we've got down here is when any wind is blowing, there's a low pressure system in Biscay. It's actually going the right direction in Biscay, but a lot of it hits the top of Galicia and funnels north down the Portuguese coast. The higher we are, the better our chance of picking up that southwesterly to take us where we want to go. So we're going to go see if we can make a few more miles today. It's kind of 50-50 whether we make it or whether we bail out sooner, because just like I say, the wind's a bit stronger than forecast, but the waves are about the same. So should be good. But as I say, we've got bailouts if we need them.
So heading out of Porto, the last time we did this, coming up 3 years ago, I was incredibly anxious. I was getting pre-passage anxiety about how it will be, how the sea state will be, and I thought I'd be better. I am better, but I still, maybe it's healthy to be anxious, but there's always part of me that's anxious about going out on a passage until I know how it is. And yeah, I've had to put my big girl pants on and see how it'll be. I know that it won't kill me, but it still doesn't stop me being anxious. And this is a brave face, but I don't head out to sea when I know there might be over 2 metre waves and a 12-hour passage going, woohoo, bring it. I head out going, how will it be? Will I survive? So yeah, but no tears this time. But then we haven't got to the entrance yet, but here we go.
Glaciers, yes.
It's not as bad as I feared at this stage, which is good. So start to settle a bit. Still got to get sails up and get on course. But actually that's usually a better part than just coming. Oh, it's quite big swells now. Whoa. It's like a roller coaster. But getting out the entrance is that's the hardest part sometimes.
Big cruise ship, the Viking Mars. Well, it's not that big by cruise ship standards. Actually going into the next port up from Porto, which I believe is called Rias. We had quite a tight CPA. We were crossing in front of the port, so I thought I'd turn out to sea to go behind and make it nice and clear. And then we're going behind him, and now he's slowed right down. Well, I suppose he needs to because he can't go into the port at full speed, but that's made it more difficult to get around the stern. And there's another one not far behind, the MV Hamburg. And there is a very rare sight on this trip, both sails up and sailing nicely. For a moment it seemed like the skies were clearing and we might have a reasonable sail to Bayona. Unfortunately that didn't last long as the wind swung to a less helpful angle and the rain started to fall.
They've just left Portugal for the first time since, I don't know, after leaving Gibraltar, and we're now in Spain.
Our echo sounder was having the occasional weird glitch when it would suddenly show the water getting very shallow, despite the fact that we were still in deep water. The first couple of times that it happened, we wondered if it could be a whale right under the boat, but we never saw one, and it happened a little too often to have been that. It was a mystery that we never solved. So yeah, pretty grim. It's we haven't filmed much. I think Kate's filmed a few bits, but we've got sort of 2 metre seas from the northwest now, as well as a metre or so from the south, so they're crossing over. Quite a strong wind from behind us, just ahead sail out. It's raining quite hard. We're going into Bayona. We didn't think Bayona would be protected, but we looked at the webcam and spoken to somebody who's in there on Navally, who's confirmed what their webcam shows, that it is flat calm in there. Thought with the northwesterly it might not be that protected, but it's a little bit closer than where we were going, and where we're going may or may not be protected, so we'd rather go somewhere we know is protected, and then we'll just slip into Bayona. It's not far out of our way if it's not any good, and also it's not, you know, we're probably about an hour short of where we were going, so I'm happier to go in there than I am to go where we were going, then find it's not flat, then look for somewhere else. So going to Bayona, drop the hook for the night and get the heater on, because it's actually cold. I've got my salopettes on, my boots, jacket, everything, and that's all day. That's not just at night time. Even when we came to Gibraltar in the middle of winter, we weren't dressed up like this in the daytime. So yeah, we are heading north for sure. You may recall that I've mentioned in the past that we have a bad habit of abandoning filming when we're not having a great time. This was one of those occasions. Suffice it to say, we dropped anchor in Bayona for a couple of nights before setting off again on another grey wet day.
Setting off on another rainy day today. We're in Bayona. I don't know if we told you we'd arrived here. Possibly not. It was a pretty long day. That was 2 days ago. But we did make it to Bayona, so we're in the Spanish Rias now. And today we've got a short hop of only maybe 30 miles, which feels like nothing today. And we're going to try and pick our way up through the Spanish Rias up until the rear of, I can't say this, the rear of Arusa. Not arousal, some people would say. So we're trying
Who would say that?
trying to get up to the rear of Arusa, so that then tomorrow morning we're placed to hop out round into Murcia. Is it Murcia?
Muros.
The Ria of Muros.
Pretty grim out there this morning. We've got the radar running because visibility is pretty poor, and we've still got the sides down just to save us getting too wet, really. We can sort of sail with the sides down. We probably have to open the side with the sheet, the jib sheet that we're operating, but that will be the downwind side, so it's quite handy that we can keep protection on the windward side. So it's quite flat in here behind the island. We're pretty close to the wind. We've got sail up, it's giving us a boost, the head sail, sorry. But the next one, we've got a sort of 4 mile gap where we'll be open to the outside swell, and then there's another island. We can either go behind that island where it'll be flat, but then there's a gap at the top of that island, which is really tight and quite shallow, so that could get a bit tasty. So if it's not too rough outside the island, I may well just stay outside, and then we don't have to deal with that narrow channel. So
I was looking forward to the protection of the next island, and then you just tell me that we might not go behind it.
Do you want to die?
No.
So these are the tough decisions. It would be more comfortable inside the island, but we're taking the outside route, which is pretty bouncy at the moment. Kate's not feeling great, taking a tablet just to be sure. But if we get this size of waves in that tight channel with 4 meter patches, could be pretty tasty up there. But the thing is, it may not be, and then you've come out here for no reason. Well, there's no way of knowing until you get there, and then it's too late. So safety over comfort, tough decision to make, especially when you're not feeling great about being in the bumpy water. But like I say, those are the tough calls you have to make sometimes. Everybody wants to be captain till there's captain shit to do. Kate has not been feeling 100% well since we were on the Algarve, and on this day was feeling uncharacteristically seasick. She took a tablet which just seemed to make her worse, so she went below feeling terrible. Once the sea flattened down as she came back to the cockpit, the incessant background stress of the trip so far and not feeling totally well all came bubbling to the surface.
I'm explaining to Ian how sometimes I just have to cry about things. This has been singly the most challenging thing I've done. Since leaving Gibraltar, because I just want to be home. Since we decided to go home, I know it was a long time ago, but we enjoyed last season, that was the plan, and we did. But this season was always going to be hard. It was always going to be about getting home. And I knew it'd be difficult, and I was quite anxious before we even set off at the Orcas about beating at the Portuguese coast. And many times I nearly didn't want to go, but I couldn't leave Ian to do it on his own. And I started the journey and I was determined to finish it. But this has just been really hard. I think the closer we get home, the happier I am, but equally I'm so tired. It's just eat, sleep, sail, repeat, and bashing and horrible conditions, and I'm just tired now. I want to be back home in the UK with all its negatives but all the positives of being home, where I know, and I don't have to leave, and I don't have to be anywhere else, and the people I love outside of Ian are there. So I've found this so hard, but we're nearly there. We get through today, tomorrow, and then Monday hope we're being at Coruña, and then it's just waiting for a weather window to get across to Brest, and that'll be, then we're only a day away from the UK. So I'm coping, but there are times of just having to endure this. It's a means to an end. There's nothing fun about any of this for me. And so sometimes I just have to cry because there's so much pent up emotion and stress about it all. It just comes leaking out of your eyes sometimes.
So you can see we're sheltered by the islands now, and it's flat right down. Still got a reasonable breeze, so that's okay. Less than an hour to go till the marina, so I'm not going to bother putting up any other sails or anything. But yeah, that got a bit hairy for a minute there. Kate's wiped out down below and had to reef. It's got up to 20 odd knots, so I was reefing, while winching the sail. I can't pull it when it's that strong, so I was winching. No chance to film, but got a bit lumpy. There was some big waves come over the bow, and yeah, a little bit lively, not pleasant at all.
Tired of the voyage and emotionally drained, we put into the small but very pleasant little marina in the town of Ribera in the Spanish Rias. The marina was great value and the area very pretty, so we allowed ourselves an extra night to recover. The Spanish Rias are beautiful and one day we may return, but for now we are simply pushing ever northwards. We didn't film in Ribera, but we did take a few photos of the beautiful surroundings. I had thought we'd get a bit further north in this episode, but not quite. So please do join us next time when we will make it to A Coruña, poised to cross the Bay of Biscay.